What's good? What's good? What's good, everybody? Welcome to another edition of It's Bigger Than Hip Hop. I'm your host, Jeff Hodges. Really excited to be in the building as always. You guys know we love to bring it to y'all as always, that higher, infinite power, healing our people type conversation with brilliant black minds. I'm Jeff Hodges, and tonight, joining me, my very special guest, singer, songwriter, multi-platinum recording artist, ADINA Howard. Welcome to the show, Miss Lady.
Thank you. How are you?
I'm great. I'm so excited to have you. It's an honor and a pleasure. So many things I've learned in my research, checking out and preparing for this show, is now giving me the idea that you have to be added to my list of heroes. You're very welcome, Queen. You've done some amazing things, and listening and checking out, a lot of people digging into your past. They want to always go to the negative, but I found something real enlightening. Your resilience, your persistence, and how you just empower women in one instance, and now you've definitely taken on a stance and empower them on another. How you been, Miss ADINA Howard?
Oh, I'm blessed. Better than good. No complaints.
Indeed. Now tell us, why is Resurrection your greatest achievement, and what does this mean to you?
Resurrection is currently my greatest achievement because I had 100% creative control over the content. And it's my first independent, full-length album release. And what it means to me is it's just showing me that I'm able to do any and all things that I put my mind to, whether people receive it or not. The accomplishment alone is a success. And album is about being created anew, being reborn, and giving birth to who I am today, where I am in my journey. And I look at I should say, the only reptile that I adore at this point in the world is the snake. And the one thing about a snake is when it sheds its skin, it's going through that like melting phase.
Right.
It sheds its skin, and even though it looks the same, the fact that it no longer has that old skin on it, it's a rebirth.
Indeed.
First perspective, the journey that I've gone on has helped mold and shape me into the woman that I am today. And that's why Resurrection means what it means to me, because I'm at another place in my life, and the music reflects that.
You kind of segue right into my next question. Blasphemy, courtesy of your eagerly awaited fourth solo LP, and although pretty much self-explanatory, and you got into it on a bit, touched it on a tad bit, talk about the concept and what that title represents to you and for you.
Rebirth, being created anew, rising from the ashes of my past success, and moving forward to continue on a path of success, and achieving all that I desire to achieve without having to look back. I appreciate my past definitely because it's a foundation, but I know that I can build upon foundation with all that has taken place along my journey up to this point. So that's what Resurrection means and why I entitled it that.
And that's a beautiful thing. And with that, introduce it for the listeners so they can get it. And we're going to play that for them right now.
Awesome.
Introduce it for them, Mr. Damon.
Which one are you about to play?
We're going to play Resurrection. Blasphemy, I'm sorry.
Blasphemy. This is your girl, ADINA Howard, and you are about to hear one of my favorite songs off of my new album, Resurrection, Blasphemy.
Whatever happened to the times when we cared for one another, we shared the same respect. What is happening? We're trading what's important for shiny things. I can't allow this blasphemy. It's blasphemy. Why would you treat yourself like that? It's not more than blasphemy. We didn't come that far just to fall right back. You know that blasphemy, where I'm from. full of the things that we've overcome. Sing a song full of unspoken battles we won. You're so much better than that. Sometimes the truth ain't always catchy as rap. So check with you that you get stuck in a trap. Go get your crown and never break the respect. No, it's blasphemy. Why would you treat yourself like that? Stop all that blasphemy. We didn't come that far just to fall right back. Baby, you're a god. You're a god. You're a god. You're a god. Baby, you're a god. You're a god. Baby, you're a god. Believe that. You're way too gifted to stop doing it. It's condescending not to mention all of our ignorance. Is there permission to share what you share? I know you like to turn up like that. With a drink to blow up like that. Well, baby, there ain't nothing wrong with that. Just make sure the guy in you stays where it's at. You're the right thing, son. How about your day be done? Grind on till the trees one. I pray you do your thing till the heavens ring. Just don't forget where you come from.
Let me talk to him. Oh, you ain't know? You ain't heard it before? That spirit you take for granted is the God of your soul. It's a price that you owe. It can never be owned. So for this value dollar, it can never be sold. We were kings and queens in the motherland. The problem is we shouldn't have spared the bride or the father's hand. Yo, what the father said, kids raising kids. So basically they never really raised for more assistant. To the system for criminal definition instead of tripping for better and taking care of your business. I promise, big guys from the crib, these you can call a king a slave if you don't know who he is. Man, it's blasphemy.
Why would you treat yourself like that? Stop all that blasphemy. We didn't come that far just to fall right back. Baby, you're a god. You're a god. You're a god. You're a god. Baby, you're a god. You're a god. Baby, you're a god. God, God, God. You're a god. Baby, you're a god.
All right. That's what's up, ADINA. I'm definitely digging that one right there for sure. So tell me, how does Resurrection either differ or compare to the previous ADINA Howard efforts?
Well, it compares to the past efforts because I'm always thinking about where I am in that moment of my life. But my music stays true to who I am and what I'm about. How it differs is it shows the creative growth, the maturation of my being as a woman. It has incorporated a positive message to spirituality, reaching out to our community, letting us know that we are greater than any obstacle, any circumstance, and any fake news they choose to, disseminate out to the world.
Right, right. Nearly a full decade after your last solo record. Why exactly did it take so long in order for you to find your turn to making music, and why now?
I didn't want to do music anymore. I walked away from the industry because it's just the one thing about the entertainment business is it can suck the life out of you. It can really kill your spirit. And I just no longer had the desire to be a part of an industry that was about taking and not giving. And I felt like there were other things that I could be doing. I know that I have more than one purpose in this world, and I know I have more than one talent in this world. And I decided that I wasn't going to cry over spilled milk over, the career not going where I would like for it to have gone,
Right.
with the decline and whatnot, because we'll go that must come down.
Mm-hmm.
But I just, the whole experience just kind of put me in a headspace and a heart space where I was like, I need to step away and really collect myself and make sure that I'm all together right. And the reason why I came back is because my platform has a purpose. It's like every time I walk away from the industry, I get sucked right back into it. And, this go around, I was like, since technology is what it is these days, and I have the ability to stand on my own, so to speak, I'll go ahead and do it because I don't have to worry about, having a lot of people giving me, a crap load of input and, doing a lot of the work and not getting paid for the effort that I put forth.
Gotcha. Now you continue to perform on the road and you work with a few producers and songwriters and released a couple of songs throughout the years, one being Switch, the other being Bad For Me. And the one thing that really caught my attention is you went back to school and obtained your associate's degree in culinary arts. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. The question is, what drove you to want to be chef of the future?
What drove you to what?
Want to be chef? I'm really just reverting back to the honeymooners when Ralph was talking about chef of the future. But yeah, what made you want to be a cook?
For those of us who are seasoned individuals, we know who the honeymooners are.
Okay.
I refer to them more often than not.
Okay.
Again, I saw the decline in my career, and I always felt like it was important to have something else to fall back on. That was something my mother always taught me. She's like, ADINA, always have a plan B. And as I'm watching, the show kind of become, less frequent, I just was really like, Lord, there's got to be something else for me to do. Mm-hmm. I have no desire to be in the studio day in, day out and trying to recapture, this former quote-unquote glory. Mm-hmm. Because what's done is done. It is what it is. And I want to move forward. So how do I go about doing this? What is it that I can do? Because I know that this is the only thing I have the ability to do. And after praying on it for, years, I finally, got the answer. And I had been wanting to go back to school for a while anyway. So being that I have a passion for feeding people, I love to cook because for me it's about the instant gratification, kind of narcissistic. Mm-hmm. Because out the gate, when people taste your food, if it's on point, you get that instant gratification. So it was something that I experienced, people enjoying what I do, and I said, well, let me make it official and, get this degree under my belt. And because one of the things for me, it represented control, something that no one can take away from me. You can take away, you can erase or take away, so to speak, or forget about my accomplishments in the music industry. You cannot reward me, so to speak, for, having a number 2 song on Billboard charts back in the day and being the first quote-unquote black woman to sexually liberate, other women. And you can completely ignore that, but what you cannot ignore is the fact that I have my associate's degree in culinary arts. You cannot take that from me. And that really gave me a sense of control and a sense of that, I can do whatever I set my mind to as long as I continue to push forward, follow through, and commit to it.
Mm-hmm. Indeed. You're listening to It's Bigger Than Hip Hop. My very special guest on air with me, Miss ADINA Howard. We're going to take a quick commercial break and we'll be right back.
What's up? This is Damian Crazy Leg Hall, co-owner of WWRN Radio. Keep things locked 24/7 and enjoy our classic hip hop and R&B station. It ain't home to touch that dial, baby.
If you're over the age of 50 and considering buying an annuity in the next 60 days, I have some important news for you. Don't buy an annuity until you understand the pros and cons of annuities. A free book to help you maximize your retirement income from television host and three-time author Josh Goldberg has been released. This book reveals little-known truths about annuity strategies in simple-to-understand terms. Grab a pen right now, because we are about to offer you this free that unlocks the 5 little-known secrets we believe baby boomers and seniors should know before buying an annuity. Call 800-985-1813 now, and you'll receive a free copy of Josh Milberg's book, Next Gen Annuity Strategies Revealed.
Turn it up. You hear it now?
You a copy of
Somebody drop a comment. I know I can hear it out there.
Today, and a free DVD on how you can get up to 33% more income in retirement. 800-985-1813 now. Again, that's 800-985-1813. Employees of J.D. Milberg Financial have the appropriate licenses for the products they offer.
Let's go on, everybody.
Stop. It's the Invisible Man, and you listen to the hottest radio show on the air. Breakfast is over, and it's dinner time now. It's bigger than hip-hop with your host, Jeffrey Hodges, on iHeartRadio. It's bigger than hip-hop radio. So,
and we listening to is bigger than hip-hop. Check it out. Shout out to our sponsor, YMP Media. Thanks, guys, for tuning in with us today. And please go visit ympmedia.com for all your empowering, encouraging, enriching needs, featuring content that's easily applicable for you to learn how to grow and tap into your best potential. I have the pleasure of speaking with singer-songwriter, multi-platinum recording artist, Miss ADINA. We're talking about her new album, Resurrection. How you doing, Queen?
Oh, I'm blessed. How are you doing, King?
Indeed, I am definitely blessed. Especially, I get to sit and chop it up with you. I mean, come on. It's Friday, all right? Now, we was just getting into, you kind of alluded to how, becoming a chef and you're having your associate degree gave you freedom. So talk about taking control of one's life under your own label, Indelible Enterprises, Inc., and being in control of your career.
Oh, my goodness. It's liberating. It's the one thing that I love about technology. It has made it so that you can be an entrepreneur.
Mm-hmm.
If you just have some business savvy, and there's really no reason why you cannot be successful, because technology has made it so accessible to learn and to grow and to reach people in other countries. And so it was interesting for me to be in this time and age, especially when I came from an industry where back in the day there were a handful of labels, and they, threw money at you, and they did everything for you, and even if you recouped, you still got the thinnest slice of the pie, and still had to pay your overhead with that. So to look at back then and to fast forward to now, to be able to have Indelible Enterprises and be able to share my talent with the world the way that I want to, and to be able to put out content that I want to put out. Not to say that Freak Like Me, T-shirt and panties, butt naked, Nasty Grind, and all those songs are something I didn't want to put out, because I definitely did. Otherwise, I wouldn't have done them. But I'm able to, like I said before, I'm able to set the GPS and head towards the destination that I have programmed into it. And Indelible Enterprises is my vehicle. My music is the product that I get to push, and I get to share my truth in the way that I am able to do it, and I can choose the singles that I want to put out versus somebody saying, "Well, that's not a hit. That's not a single." Go back into the studio. I have the control, and it's refreshing, because a lot of people don't even understand how powerful having control over your life and being mindful of of the power of that control, and actually doing it on purpose with purpose.
Mm-hmm. Now, we all know the story behind Welcome to Fantasy Island, which ultimately ended up shelved indefinitely, and it caused some obvious reinventing of yourself. Talk about how setbacks set you up for the success you're experiencing today. Give it to them. Like what?
So, Welcome to Fantasy Island was it was supposed to be my sophomore album with Elektra, and they said there weren't any, at the studio, because there wasn't enough singles on there. And T-shirt and panties was actually on the album, but they took it to radio, and radio was like, "This is too risque. We can't play that." But, and then they came back to me and they said, oh, they're not willing to play it. And in my mind, I'm like, oh, no, they're not willing to put enough money behind it. So they're they don't want to have to do that. Being young and immature and cocky, I ended up saying something about the head of the label that got back to her, and she flexed. Rightfully so, I'm not mad at her.
Right.
She flexed, and because of my indignant behavior, I got sat down. I sat down, and I had to sit for a very long time. It was like being put in timeout after you got in trouble, and you just had to sit there and think about what you did and how you could have done it differently.
Mm-hmm.
And I did. I really, once I got out of my own way and really looked at how I participated in the decline. The reality setting, like, you actually did this to yourself. You didn't have to say and didn't have to do, but, it is what it is. And so now it's just like I said, to look where everything is today, I'm grateful, I'm humbled, I'm honored that opportunity did happen.
Right.
Because it created a place and space in my head and my heart to recognize that you have to be careful what you say, how you say it, and who you say it around. Because just because a person is smiling in your face doesn't mean they're on your team.
Mm-hmm.
There are spies among us. You know what I'm saying? There will be people that you think are cool with you,
Mm-hmm.
and you can be talking, and you feel like you're safe to speak around them,
Mm-hmm.
and they want you to feel safe and comfortable, so that they can go ahead and go spill the tea, so they say, to other individuals. And so I learned a lot from that, and I needed to, because I didn't have a filter, and I did not understand the value of staying in my place and having respect the way that I should have respect. And if I didn't have respect for that person, there was a way to go about doing it. And so now where I am today, like I said, it's helped prepare me for the world that I'm living in. Sometimes you just in order to be prepared for the future.
Absolutely.
That's just the way that life is. You have to make mistakes. The more mistakes you make, the closer to success you will become.
Mm-hmm.
The more mistakes you make and the more things that you go through, it helps bring you that much closer that you see.
Right.
And it has definitely done that. It taught me as a businesswoman, if you were to bring an artist, you would want them to respect you. You would want them to be grateful for the opportunity, mm-hmm. and to make sure that there's a time and place for everything.
Right. Indeed. Now for Resurrection, what track of yours defines you?
Oh my goodness. That whole album defines different parts of me. Because what I do when I create, I make sure that it encompasses, bits and pieces of my life that are relevant to where I am today and what would speak to those who actually listen.
Mm-hmm.
So there's really not one song that encompasses, the whole of me.
Mm-hmm.
That album is a puzzle, and each song is a piece, and it creates the big picture when you listen to it from beginning to end.
Gotcha. Nowadays, do you put more stock in the concepts of the songs and the image that's being put out when you put out Freak Like Me, which earned you that sex symbol status?
I'm always conscious of what I put out. There's not ever a time that you think any content or heard any content that I was not responsible for.
Okay.
The Freak Like Me album cover was not an accident. They didn't have control out or not putting out. I agreed to that. The song Freak Like Me is based on my personality and who I was. And I'm still a freak, even at 44. I've always had control of my image, so to speak, where if I did not like something, I spoke up and said, no, I don't like that. You're not going to do that. So from 95 in the beginning up until 2018 and beyond, I will always be in the driver's seat when it comes to the content that is put out on me, because I am my brand. And how people perceive me is very, very important. How I perceive myself is more important than anybody else.
Absolutely.
Perception of me.
Which is an excellent segue to my next question. Now, you heard it over and over again. You've helped with the sexual liberation and all that greatness. But you thought about it, and though you appreciate it, rather, the acknowledgement of it all, but one of the important things that you want young ladies to walk away from and understand that selling sex is an option, and it's not the only option. Talk about that for a lady listening now, trying to get into the industry that's just doing too much.
I think that when young women and girls get into this entertainment industry, because it, more often than not, it's self-sex inadvertently or just blatantly in your face. More often than not, you see the feminine aspect. You see the woman or the girl selling sex. You don't really see men doing it much.
Mm-hmm.
And it's more often than not that you do see us as women that we do it. And I think that it's really being pushed, as if this is the only thing that we can sell as women, as girls. And it's not the only thing we sold to sell music or to sell a product. And I really do want young ladies and women to understand that if you do not have the desire to do it, if you do not feel comfortable in any way, shape, form, or fashion selling sex, you don't have to. Plain and simple, you don't have to. Now, if you don't want to, then that's a sacrifice that, may have to be made in the sense that you may lose the opportunity. But understand that that's not the only opportunity that will present itself. If you stand for what you believe in, the divine will always open a door for you to be able to walk through it to represent you the way that you desire to represent you. And you'll be able to walk through that door and walk through life with your head held high, not feeling shame about, well, I'm doing something that I really don't believe in, but I got to sell records and I want to make this money. Don't sell yourself short. You deserve better than that. And if that's not what you want to do, don't do it. It's fame is not worth selling your soul. Money is not worth you just, shortchanging yourself. You're worth it. And there's nothing that you cannot do, in this world if you put your mind to it, and you don't have to sell it. You can sell a bottle of Coca-Cola if you want to and keep it moving, and it doesn't have to be, you don't have to sell it in a way where you're wearing a bikini and some heels and walking around without, to sell the product. There's somebody out there that doesn't want it to be sold to them like that.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can find that niche and work it, you got it.
Indeed. Congratulations on your Super Bowl performance over there at the Dome. How was that? Talk about it.
We had so much fun. DJ Moore, it was his birthday, so I was invited to come out to Los Angeles to perform, and I was blessed with the opportunity to be on stage and go get my money. And we had a great time. Go Eagles.
No doubt. Also, congratulations on receiving 2 UB Honored nominations in the Best Artist Returns for Blasphemy with King Gas and Best Independent R&B Album Release for Resurrection.
Now, this is what I find interesting, because I did my research, and that did not happen.
The nominations didn't happen?
Oh, the nomination. Okay,
yeah.
You said nomination.
Yes, I said nomination.
I hear you being mad. I didn't hear the nomination just.
I ain't mad at you. Congratulations, Queen.
Thank you. Thank you. Somebody else, said, "Oh, you won," and so I was the gate. I was like, "Oh shoot, wait a minute."
Somebody had a Steve Harvey moment.
What'd you say?
Somebody had a Steve Harvey moment.
I can't. Yes, they did. They sure did. I was like, oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Check it out.
I got all excited about it. I was like, oh my God, what? Then I did my research. I was like, nothing happened.
But you got them nominations.
The nomination did.
Nah, congratulations.
And I am truly grateful for that, because the fact that it was acknowledged, that for me shows me that people are paying attention to what I'm doing. Right. They're listening and they're looking, and I'm right there in their line of sight, and they see me coming, and that's good sometimes.
Indeed. You're listening to It's Bigger Than Hip Hop with my very special guest, Miss ADINA Howard. We're gonna take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back.
It's Bigger Than Hip Hop Radio presents A Moment in Hip Hop History with Mocha Brown. Paid in full. Follow the leader. Let the rhythm hit him. Juice. Know the ledge. These are 4 of the most influential records in hip hop history. Many MCs call them the blueprints of rap. I'm speaking of none other than the God MC himself, Rakim. The album Paid in Full was named the greatest hip-hop album of all time by MTV. Eric B. and Rakim are a hip-hop duo that formed in New York in 1986. Members include DJ Eric Barrier and Rakim, William Michael Griffin Jr. Rakim was a game changer. His poetic style of rap was admired and imitated by many rappers. Rakim was extremely articulate, and his vocabulary was unparalleled. Before Rakim, most MCs had only basic one-syllable rhyme, line for line. In other words, once Rakim hit the scene, rappers had to step up their game. A lot. Rakim's consciousness seeps through his lyrics, giving his fans prophetic messages about the meaning of life. Deeply influenced by jazz artists like Coltrane and Miles Davis, Rakim learned to read music and also played saxophone. Boy, Rakim would often spend time with his aunt Ruth Brown, a jazz singer of the 60s. He learned a lot about showbiz from her and decided he would try his hand in the business himself. Eric B., who held down the role of DJ, like many rap duos of this time, was also a force to be reckoned with. His outside-the-box samples and banging beats declared him one of the best DJs around. These two forces combined their talents and imploded hip-hop. In 2011, they were nominated for an induction into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And in 2012, the Source magazine ranked Rakim as #1 on their list of lyricists of all time. It's Bigger Than Hip Hop Radio salutes true pioneers of hip hop, Eric B. and Rakim. This is Mocha Brown with your moment in hip hop history.
We back.
Stop. It's the Invisible Man, and you listen to the hottest radio show on the air. Breakfast is over, and it's dinner time now. It's Bigger Than Hip Hop with your host, Jeffrey Hodges, on iHeartRadio. It's Bigger Than Hip Hop Radio. Told you can't see me.
And yeah, I want to give a birthday shout out to the Invisible Man. Thanks for that drop. You're listening to It's Bigger Than Hip Hop with your host, Jeff Hodges. On the air with me is my very special guest, Miss ADINA Howard.
Hey.
We talking about that record, that album, Resurrection, and I'm digging it. And I know that you sent, no question. I know that you sent over another joint. Was that radio ready with that title? Can we play that?
Nancy?
Yes, can we play that?
Of course you can play Nancy.
Well, then introduce that joint. Introduce that.
It's the one and only ADINA Howard, about to get into my next single, Nasty.
Just in time, I'm feeling tight, like I want to fight. I still have some positions that still ain't done. Let me have my fun with cream, strawberries down your back at chase. Ain't nobody gotta know my name. Assume the position, the team is on a mission. And it started one, come over. Turn over, remember, you're a freak like me. Nobody's gonna do you like me. My nasty cry. My nasty cry. My nasty cry. Nobody's gonna do you like me. Now meet me in the shower. And I'm out of power. Wash my back and power shorts. Take you to the bedroom. I'm in a safe room. You do me like it's hot to do. Two bodies vibrating. Your mental is escalated. Touch, body trace. Come over. I don't see your face. Kiss your neck, your back. You told me what's next. Come over. Turn over. Remember, you're a freak like me. Nobody's gonna do you like me. My nasty cry. My nasty cry. My nasty cry. Nobody's gonna do you like me. Do you want me? Do you need me? Ask me. I promise it's yours. Anything you want. Anything you need. Nobody's gonna do you like me. All my ladies say. Hey, 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 hey. Nobody's gonna do you like me. All my ladies say. Hey, hey, hey. Say, hey, yeah. Say, hey, yeah. Nobody's gonna do you like me. My nasty cry. My nasty cry. My nasty cry. Nobody's gonna do you like me.
Yeah, we back. I'm digging that, Miss Howard. I'm digging that.
That was Nasty Grind. I thought you were going to play Nasty. Oh, yeah. Nasty Grind is that video was my female D'Angelo type video.
I got you, because it definitely reflects that. No doubt. So, talk about some of the songs on the album that, we can anticipate with the sound and, where it was coming from. Give us something like, I know there's one on there called Work. Talk about that one.
Work, basically, to me, Work has this almost like a dreamy sound to it. It's a nice urban pop type vibe, I think. And it really just goes into me getting my grind going. Letting people know that, I don't come from the streets, but I know how to work the streets. And I know how to get my grind on and make sure I get mine.
Indeed. Now let my listeners know where they can get that album from.
Right now, they can go to ADINAHoward.com and get a free digital copy of the album. So they can go ahead and check that out. If they haven't gotten it, they can go get it once again at ADINAHoward.com, ADINAHoward.com.
There you go. Let them know about all those social media sites so they can keep up with you. Because I know you got some tours coming up. One that being in April. We're going to talk about that in a minute.
I got so much stuff going on right now. It's wonderful. Social media, Instagram, The Real ADINA Howard. T-H-E, not T-H-A, not D-A, but T-H-E, the real Adina Howard. Facebook is Adina Howard, Twitter Adina Howard, Snapchat Adina Howard, LinkedIn Adina Howard.
Man,
And anything else that may be out there that I have a hold of is Adina Howard.
Oh, Adina Howard. It's all about you.
Yes.
All right.
There you go.
Yeah, exactly. So look, we're talking about you getting ready to do so many things. You've been doing so many things, but April, talk about that tour that's coming up.
April, is that the escape situation?
Talk about it.
Okay. So, because I have so much going on, if you don't kind of tell me what we're talking about, I'm like, So, I am blessed with the opportunity to share the stage with Escape, Brandy, and some other individuals. I think Brian Devon is on it as well. So it's the Funk Fest. And I'm excited about that because it's going to be in Jacksonville, Florida. And I love Jacksonville, Florida. So one of the things that's happening is 90s music is coming back.
That's right.
The resurgence of 90s music is like major right now. And I am being blessed with the opportunity to share the stage with some amazing talent, people that I actually grew up listening to. Just Escape, Anthony Hamilton, Brandy, Tank, Carl Thomas, and myself. Yeah, we're going to be, and that's actually May 11th.
Okay.
May 11th instead of April 11th. So yeah, I'm hitting the stage for that, and I'm excited about it because I'm going to be a fan. When I tell you, I'm going to be watching, those artists on stage and just really enjoying, being a part of, an epic opportunity.
No doubt, no doubt. Now, as you mentioned, you're being so busy. I couldn't get everything. So share something that's going on that we may not have touched on.
I was in a movie, or I should say, I'm in a movie called The Relaxer.
Okay.
And it is debuting at the South by Southwest this year in March. I believe it's going to be the first weekend or second weekend of March. And I'm very excited about this independent film. They blessed me with the opportunity to share my talent with them, and I'm really pleased with my performance, so I'm excited about that. So The Relaxer is going to be out this year. We're working on a new EP called Diary of a Desperate Housewife. That should be coming out later this year.
Okay.
Working on a book called Adina Real Raw. In the process of me doing this particular book, I'm actually going through therapy, and as this book is being written, because the co-author is a therapist, and she's really just, helping me understand who I am and why I do and did some of the things, that I do and did. And so I'm working on that. I am going to get around to a cookbook, but I find the cookbook very difficult in the sense that I see them to taste. So, measurements are measurements are out the window when it comes to my cooking, because I know what I want my food to taste like.
Right.
And I make, I season it to taste, and I make it with love. So it's very hard to measure. What else? I am actually in the process of starting a clothing line for women and men, so that's underway. Okay. And it's going to be more like this triple K clothing, cute, casual, comfortable, or cool, casual, comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
And I took the triple K, KKK, for the clothing because I wanted to take that negative that they just love to use and smash it back in their face.
Gotcha.
like,
Gotcha.
Like, yes, and now I have it. What?
Mm-hmm.
and the symbol that I'm using is a West African symbol.
Right.
For the Dinka tribe.
So now it's like, hold that twice.
Right, exactly.
Mm-hmm. Now that's what's up, Miss Lady. I'm so excited for you. That is what's up. You're welcome. Continue success, man. I'm so happy. You're doing your thing. Your music is back out. Like you said, the 90s surgeon is on and popping, and you're a part of it. We're glad to know that. Have your joints rotating again. We're excited.
I am too. there are new generations that have grown up on our music, and generations that will be introduced to our, and it's exciting to be able to be a part of their their journey. Our music could be the soundtrack for their journey. I think that's awesome.
Indeed, it is. Now, as I always like to do, I want to close out with a quote, which will be by you. But before I do that, share some closing remarks.
Be good to yourself. It's so important. Don't love others more than you love yourself. Because when it's all said and done, if you don't love you more, then you set yourself up for disappointment. You set yourself up for a life where you're dependent on other people to approve of you. And if you accept yourself, it doesn't matter if anyone else does or does not. Continue to be grateful for where you are, and once you appreciate where you are, what you have, the divine will bless you with more. If you find yourself running in place, figure out what the shackles are that are holding you in place, and begin to work on breaking those. And continue to be the blessed that you can possibly be, because God doesn't make a mess.
Not at all. Not at all. Thank you, Mrs. Howard. Also, before you go, let's get that drop for us. Where you at and who you with over here? Let them know.
Jeff Hodges, it is bigger, way bigger than hip hop.
Y'all heard it first. I want to thank you guys for listening live and in the archives. I want to thank my very special guest, Miss ADINA Howard. And like I said, I quote, "I'm sexy and cute, but there's substance to me. I'm a woman of substance. And that you are, queen. And we appreciate you. And we're going to be watching, because we're going to have to get you back on being so busy. We're going to talk again."
Absolutely.
Indeed, indeed. Well, I thank you for taking the time to be a part of It's Bigger Than Hip Hop.
I appreciate you. Thank you for taking the time to allow me to be a part of It's Bigger Than Hip Hop.
Indeed, indeed. Check it out, y'all. Thank you for joining us live, as I said, and in the archives. Be sure to download the iHeart app and search IBTHH for all our latest podcasts. Also, if you know someone who has something brilliant and empowering to share, please have them sign up at ibthhradio.com and then be a guest on our show. Until next time, y'all, peace and love. And again, thanks to my very special guest, Miss ADINA Howard. We're going to close out with DJ Ron doing this thing. Bang it out, y'all. Until next time, peace and love. Oh, yeah, y'all know next week is my birthday, February 16th. Right? Y'all do know that. And y'all do know that the movie Black Panther coming out, right? I want y'all to go check that out, see your boy doing this thing. And also, we're going to have in the building actor, director, Mr. John Marshall Jones. See y'all then. Peace.
DJ Ron.
Y'all check out this spin out before we go. Thank you. Y'all tired. I appreciate you like cook food, y'all. Thank you for tuning in. Peace and love, everybody. It's been a beautiful journey. I'm glad you've been a part of it. So y'all stay tuned. I'm not done. I'm not done. That's what it means. We got something for you as we continue to proceed. Peace.